I'm back! This is actually going to be, a little, what's it called? Entry for a collab that, a user I know called Baby Lamb Creations is doing. And since it is almost like the I think it was 50th anniversary of Mr. Rogers or something, and it's almost his 90th birthday, I might as well. This is basically my thoughts on the show, and what I remember, most of it. Well, to be honest, I don't really remember that much. I only watched the show on WQED as a kid because after that it would always come on Teletubbies or Barney, and those were two of my favorite PBS shows. But looking back at it now, it seems to be a very interesting show. The only bits I can remember the most are the intro song, Won't You Be My Neighbor, Beautiful Day in This Neighborhood. Yeah, I always like watching those scenes of, the houses and the buildings. Yeah. I remember the trolley thing. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Though I can't really remember most of the Neighborhood Make-Believe episodes, or segments. I remember Mr. McFeely, sort of. And, Speed Delivery. And I remember the ending song. And I do remember a few promos, like the Eden Park commercial that always came on before the show. Very terrifying, to be honest. It's a good show. Every episode would start off with the intro, very popular song. Then Mr. Rogers would do, a certain thing, show you, something he brought, or a video tape that he wants to show. Then it would, sometimes have him go to a different place to see all these different stuff. One time he went to a playground with the and then we'll go to a Neighborhood Make-Believe segment where he takes a trolley and takes them to a whole place that is basically beyond your wildest imagination. And there would be characters like King Friday the 13th, Queen Sarah Saturday, Prince Tuesday, Daniel Striped Tiger, Lady Elaine Fairchild, and many others. Yeah. It was interesting. Then it would end off with, him doing something else, and then he would sing a goodbye song. Now, there were two different songs. In the very early episodes, he sang a song called the Tomorrow Song. Yeah, I'm not kidding. This actually happened. I never even knew that existed until YouTube came along. Yay, YouTube! But then, apparently, due to copyright, all later episodes would have a different song, It's Such a Good Feeling. I kind of like the It's Such a Good Feeling song much better. Yeah. So, it's interesting. I can only remember, a few episodes, this one episode where Big Bird visited the Neighborhood Make-Believe. One episode where, Lady Aberlin and Daniel Striped Tiger were, playing with this tin can telephone. That was one of my favorite segments. The only two episodes I can remember the most are two parts of the Mad Feelings episode, Part 2 and Part 5. Why? Because they were on this DVD I got back in, 2009 or so, when I was at the Children's Museum of Pittsburgh. Oh, and I do remember that Kennywood ride. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So basically what this is that Mr. Rogers talks about all the different kinds of things you can do when you're mad. Maggie Stewart comes in and shows Mr. Rogers this cool, toy that, is, so satisfying. I have one just like that. And talks about how she likes to swim when she's angry or upset. And sings a song with sign language, type of way people talk with their hands rather than their mouths. Yeah. Basically, in the neighborhood make-believe segment, Lady Elaine gets very angry that she can't draw Grandpere's tower correctly. I don't even remember who Grandpere was, to be honest. I never really saw most of his episodes. She gets so mad that she turns the tower upside down. In part 5, she talks about... It's just my cat. She talks about, like, how she can, like, make the tower out of clay instead. And she feels bad because she thinks she turned Mr. McFeely into a doll. But apparently she didn't. So thank God. And she does turn the tower back to its right side up. Yeah. In part 5, there's a segment where... In part 2, there's a segment where Mr. Rogers gets a painting, and it's a pretty cool painting. And in part 5, there's a segment where he visits rehearsal of a band, or of a singing group named Stomp. Very popular. One of the members is actually Tony James, I think that's what his name is, who you may remember from Out of the Box. Yeah, I kind of noticed that. Yeah, Out of the Box. Probably have to do that sometime. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Oh, and I haven't noticed I've only noticed this recently when I got this DVD back in like 2009 or so, that the ending music that plays like during the end credits almost sounds exactly like the music that plays when Teletubbies say goodbye in Teletubbies Everywhere. Of course, I watched both of these shows as a kid, so who knows? Oh, and here's 2 records I got from my grandparents. Yeah. This is actually an early version of Won't You Be My Neighbor that had a few different songs. This one specifically, I think, had a song about Cinderella. You know, classic fairy tale. That had a bunch of, like, Tom and Jerry-like characters and such. Thank you, Disney. And I have another one called Let's Be Together. I might collect other ones in the future, because I'm a fan of Mr. Rogers, and I'm proud to say it. Yeah. It's a good show. You really should check it out. But then there's Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. I probably won't have enough time to talk about this. But basically, several years after the show ended, the original series ended, the creator of Blue's Clues, I'm not kidding, worked on a show called Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. That's about Daniel Striped Tiger's son. I'm not kidding. His son, Daniel Tiger. Yeah. It's more of a preschool show, or like a little kindergarten show on like the original Mr. Rogers, which was like for all ages. Yeah. I don't really like it though, but it's not bad. It's okay for like little kids. Little kids. Not... I always do that. Little kids will kind of like it. Little kids will like it. I always say the wrong words. Yeah. Well, I don't know what else to say, but such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling you're growing inside. When you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. Such a good feeling, very good feeling you know that we're friends. Yeah, I was always kind of confused when they shortened the song in some episodes. Like, they skipped the I'll be back when the week is new part. Yeah. Goodbye.